Hello and welcome to When Movies Met Movies, our podcast where we look at a past year in film to further understand the present. I'm Jack.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Matthew.
Today we are discussing two films about criminals. 2012 Berlin Film Festival's Golden Lion winner, Caesar Must Die, and the new film, Crime 101. Just to get started, what have y'all seen this past week, and what have y'all been up to?
Not much. It's been a pretty busy week on my end, unfortunately, as you guys know. However, I did see Wuthering Heights on Tuesday night, which obviously we will talk about it in an upcoming episode.
Next episode. Get ready. It was my fourth most anticipated film of the year.
It was something for sure.
Will I still rank it there after this?
Only one way to find out. But yeah, I will say more about it when my tongue is loosened next episode.
I am curious though, did you read the book going into it, or did you treat it more as a standalone?
I treated it more as a standalone, but I saw it with friends who had read the book, and so it was very interesting to hear from them and compare their experiences with mine.
Well, I'm very excited to hear more about that next episode, so get excited. I have seen some pretty amazing things. I've been pretty busy like you. I've had like a 15-page research paper this week.
Oh,
luckily it's in a class where the grading is really not harsh at all, so I really just have to complete it.
Still 15.
It's like 13 or 15. It didn't say a number of pages. It was just like 2-page thing here, 5-page thing here, 3-page thing here, and it just added up to insane levels. And we were only assigned this last weekend. So yeah, but I've gone through most of it, so we're good.
Okay.
I've been continuing Industry on HBO. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know I've mentioned it several times, so I will not repeat myself here, but incredible show. And the last 2 episodes of season 4, episodes 5 and 6, pure cinema. It was fantastic. It made my heart race like Euphoria. It was so many twists, so much emotion. Oh my God. Eric Tao, the Asian guy, again from Old and Lost, and upcoming Project Hail Mary. Amazing. So check it out. And I saw this new show on FX called Love Story. And I don't have much to say. It was just okay. It was about the Kennedy son with his girlfriend. I'm blanking on her name. I don't know much about the true story. The episode was a little bit boring, but there's a new talent on this show, and I have a weird feeling. We will see. This is probably going to just fall in my face of like, what are you talking about? This is never going to happen. But I maybe take back the Robert Pattinson DCU things, because I think if James Gunn sees this, we could have the new Bruce Wayne Batman in the DCU. So we'll see in the upcoming months.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
If my prophecy comes true, Paul Anthony Kelly, look him up. He would be perfect for James Gunn's vision of the DCU based on this. It was eerie. Okay, it's like a comic book come to life. Anyways, that is all I've seen.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, first off, I rewatched Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, probably the best Gundam series ever made. Well, it's like a movie series, but not really. It's like a OVA, if you know what that is. But oh my God, it's peak Gundam. It's like anti-war, anti-killing, everything bad basically. But like it has a lot of those like common Gundam themes about like no more war, no more unnecessary deaths and stuff like that. And I don't know if you'll get a lot out of it if you haven't seen like at least the first series, but it's
I was about to ask that. I'm sad. I wanted something good to the way you were describing it. It made me kind of want to watch it, but I have to watch it.
I think it's worth watching by itself, but you'll get a lot more about it if you have seen the others. But it's still really good. like a really good anti-war mech anime, basically. So
Nice.
yeah, if it's your like first Gundam ever, like there might be some references that are hard to understand, but it's a lot easier to digest compared to the other series because it's tighter in storytelling. Because it's not like 52 episodes; it's only it's like 9 1-hour episodes. So like it's basically like 22 episodes if it was like a normal 22-minute program. But yeah, really short compared to other Gundam series, and I think you guys should check it out. Next, I I watched this documentary that might be relevant later called The Imposter by Bart Layton, who is also the director of Prime
Oh,
101. I think I'll share my thoughts about that movie when we
I
get
really
to
want to
it.
watch it. I looked it up when I saw you logged it, and I was like, "Oh shit, we were talking about all watching this a long time ago and we never did." And then I
Yeah.
was like, "Wait, this is the same director when you logged it?" So that was crazy. But is it a thumbs
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, it's not like the best thing ever, but I think it's pretty solid storytelling. There's like quite a
nice.
few twists and turns. So honestly,
Yeah.
I might have more to say that compared to other movies that we're going to talk about later, but
See.
uh yeah, I'll talk about it later. But anyways, last thing, of course, last week of F1 testing. Oh my god, Ferrari look monstrous. Their race starts are insane. Like Lewis Hamilton overtook 6 or 7 cars in the second day of testing for like the final race start that they do at the end of each session. And they have this like unique wing design that's like that turns the entire back wing like upside down. And apparently
Oh,
that's supposed to help a lot in the straights because more downforce is bad for straights, but by making that into lift, that might make them the fastest car on the grid, honestly. But on the other hand, Aston Martin is ass once again. They
Aston
only
Martin.
completed 30 laps total when everyone else did like 100 laps per day.
Oh no.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's bad. I don't even know that much about F1, and I can already say that's bad.
They have not done a single race simulation, and they only did 2 laps the last day. So, oh my God, Fernando
Oof.
Alonso, uh, ooh, poor guy. He already went through this once, and yeah, poor 45-year-old man. He's
Sad.
still fast, but the car isn't.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I logged in to my Apple TV and I saw in the app they officially added like all of the F1 races live compilations, stats, background information. It was crazy. It was like a whole huge hub for F1. So I can't say I'm going to watch every race, but if you're like me out there and you have Apple TV or Apple TV Plus, I mean, to clarify, then check
well,
out.
it's just Apple TV now, so
I forgot. I think that's so stupid how they did that because it's
yeah.
so confusing. It's a product. It's like two separate products. If you have, I'm calling it Plus. If you have the subscription to Apple TV, not the Plus, but the Plus, then give F1 a chance like I'm going to. I'm excited. Okay, so let's start with the new news, and it's never a good week when you have not one, not two, but 3 eulogies to talk about.
Mhm.
And the first is heartbreaking to me. It's not shocking at all, but it is so sad. Eric Dane, Euphoria, incredible. Incredible performance, especially in season 2. Grey's Anatomy, he was famous for, has died after his ALS. And what's really sad is he, with Netflix, recorded a final interview to be released after his death of his like final words and an interview about him. And
Oh wow.
I couldn't watch all of it because it was too sad, but I watched a good amount of it. If you have Netflix, check it out. If you don't, find the clip of his final words online. It is so heartbreaking. He was such a kind man. And I am so excited and nervous to see what will be his final performance ever in Euphoria Season 3. And I found out that he filmed his scenes in a wheelchair. So his ALS didn't progress as much, I don't think, although we'll see, as the interview where he was all mentally there in this interview, but he had trouble speaking, like the words physically. But it was so sad. It's not even like brain cancer where he was gone. He was there. And it's a heartbreaking disease that we need to fix. So rest in peace. Yeah, I'm excited for Euphoria Season 3, and I'll be tuning in for his final performance. And the fact that they knew he was going to die, and he still, knowing he was going to die, decided to still do this season in a wheelchair, I feel like it is going to be a heartbreaking performance.
Yeah, it's a horrible disease, for sure.
It is. It's so horrible. Now I know this show is going to explore it through his character in Season 3, I think, which is really... It's going to fuck me up. I knew the show would, but they just find ways. They just keep finding ways. Anyways, next up, Robert Duvall has passed away, a chameleon of an actor on screen and on stage. Apocalypse Now, The Godfather.
What a man.
At 95, so he lived a long life.
Yeah.
Not as sad as Eric Dane, but it's still sad when anyone passes away.
Yeah, he's amazing in The Godfather, of course, as Conciliere. I forget the name.
Tom, right?
Yes, thank you. He just has such like an authoritative presence. And I did not know he was in Bullet, but that is a movie I've been meaning to see, especially after Crime 101.
Yeah, and he's been fantastic since he debuted. Like, fantastic is Boo Radley, like, such a scary presence in To Kill a Mockingbird. I have problems with the movie compared to the book, but his portrayal as Boo is quite fantastic early on. Obviously, The Godfather. Unfortunate that, they didn't offer what he was due for part 3, so that the third one kind of ended up as, kind of not so great movie, but yeah, he's been great in everything he's been in. He's also great in MASH. Compared to his peers like Gene Hackman or even Catherine O'Hara, like, he didn't die too early. He didn't die of like some like Alzheimer's while his wife died of a heart attack. Stuff like that. He just lived a long life, and compared to other deaths that we've heard of recently, like, I'm happy he lived a long life.
Yeah.
It's a lot better of a way to go out.
Yeah.
And lastly, Matthew, do you want to lead our final eulogy today?
Yeah, character actor and director short films Tom Noonan, who was in Michael Mann's Manhunter, among other things, as well as a bunch of Kaufman movies, also passed away recently. I think his most iconic role besides Manhunter is in Synecdoche, New York, where he plays Philip Seymour Hoffman's character while shadowing him. Such a funny role. She also voices like every single other character in Anomalisa that's not Lisa or the main character. And
David Thewlis. That is a great film, Anomalisa, and the word chameleonic, I think, describe. And I don't want to spoil anything about the movie, but there's a reason why everyone is Tom Noonan, not literally, but they all have a certain flatness, which is very interesting. So, yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. On to some brighter news from our 3 eulogies today, into some more normal news that's a little less depressing. But this first thing, in a different way, could be seen as depressing. With 2 Star Wars stories. I mean, it is, to me.
Yeah,
it is.
Agreed.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just... The Mandalorian and Grogu official trailer has dropped, and I want Matthew to go first because he had this on his most Anticipated list. Matthew, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it gave me Mandalorian vibes, and honestly, that's all I could ask for. It looked a lot better than season 3. It looked more like a movie than season 1 and 2. Obviously, since they're TV shows, but yeah, it seems like it's not the deepest thing in the world. It's about a dad trying to make a better world for his son, but that's what The Mandalorian has been about mostly, and it's more about that. And I thought the action sequences were pretty nice, with nice references to classics like Apocalypse Now, and especially French Connection. Also, a surprise cameo by a certain director slash, I think we can classify him as an actor.
I was gonna mention that in the beginning and I forgot.
But yeah, Martin
Yeah,
Scorsese somehow made a cameo in this movie.
Famous for Shark Tale.
Oh my.
But yeah, it seems like a fun romp, which is all I can ask for after the disaster that was season 3.
I will admit, I will say this about the trailer. It was by far, to me, the best trailer that they have released for this movie so far. Is that a high bar? No. But
No.
I will say it looked somewhat cinematic in shots, which the other trailer did not at all. I'm like
Yeah.
wondering if that was unfinished effects or if this movie is going to be all over the place. Right? I don't know. Martin Scorsese, that was fun. His characters, it's a cameo, clearly. I don't think he's
Yeah, it's a
actually going to
cameo.
really have a role in the movie. That'd be great, though, if he had a side role in the movie.
That's their next spin-off.
The animation was actually pretty amazing for that character. It was like puppetry. It was very Jim Henson-y. Like, I was impressed. I didn't see anything like that in this movie from the advertising so far. It looked super cheap, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of good-ish for what it is.
He just looks like E.T.
He does, but it looked like Martin Scorsese, though. When you pointed it out before they even announced, I was like, wait, it looks like Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it does look like him.
It's crazy how they did
bushy
that.
eyebrows.
It was like hilarious.
And his smile, too.
But what I will say is I still think this looks now like a better movie, but it still looks like a movie for little kids for the most part. And I am still worried about this film. I'm fine with it being a little silly, but it should be balanced with a big scope. And I really hope this doesn't just turn into something that parents are eventually going to put on for their little kids on Disney Plus, because that's what this is possibly looking like. But it was better enough that I will be open-minded and I will give it a chance when I have to see it for the podcast. Dean, save yourself by seeing it in 40x for free. Save yourself. I don't know if I'm going to pay the money.
Or IMAX, because it's in 1.43.
Ugh.
Oh
You want to
god.
spend IMAX for a Disney Plus movie? Be my guest, but
It could be a cinematic masterpiece on the level of Apocalypse Now and The French Connection. Clearly, it's two major influences.
I mean, don't put down this movie before seeing it. I'll be open-minded in anything. The bar's at 0, but it's not looking like it, but you never know.
Pedro Pascal looks kind of done the whole time. At least that was my impression.
Also, isn't it a whole thing that he can't take off his helmet, but then every new thing they come out for this?
They forced him to take off his helmet, like...
Who?
I know, but I heard a whole story that it was like a whole plot line that he took off his helmet. He needs to redeem himself, and now he just has his helmet off in this movie to show that it's Pedro Pascal.
Because they forced his helmet off. Like, the thing with season 2 was that he chose to take off his helmet, which is why he had to redeem himself. But in this movie, his helmet gets forcibly taken off by the Hutts.
When is that shown, though? You're assuming that, right? Did I miss
no,
something?
They show someone, like, grabbing his helmet off while he's tied down.
Didn't he use super glue or something? Well, how were they able to do that? This is dumb. He's just repeating the same old shit at this point, especially with the baby Yoda. Grogu at this point should be growing up a little bit. Like, can we at least enter can talk phases even if they're a little kid?
I agree with that, yeah.
And I get how they scientifically set that up of he ages slowly, but I'm like, you're now telling me we are never gonna see this kid as anything other than a fucking baby who hopefully at some point will talk and not just Dada. Okay? I can't.
Oh my god. It's like Groot. He does not age.
No, Groot was cute though, and he did grow up. He didn't stay the
True,
same
he
way.
became a
It was for one
teenager.
movie. Exactly.
Yeah.
We need teenage Grogu.
I mean, like, it's inspired by Lone Wolf and Cub, and the baby stays a baby throughout the entire, like, 6-movie series in the comic.
But here's my thing. What adult already having to take care of a baby is going to want to have to deal with a fictional baby on screen? And then number 2, what little kid who's not a baby is going to want to watch a movie about a baby?
Grogu merch is the most popular Star Wars merch since,
for
like,
adult,
Ewoks.
but they don't watch the shows. They just think it's cute.
No, kids buy it, dude. There's a bunch of kids' toys. Like, kids like Grogu. Like, saying that they don't is, like, not true, you know?
Well, okay. Will Grogu die in The Mandalorian and Grogu? We shall find out.
Hopefully. I'd watch it. I'd be much more excited about watching it if I knew he was going to die.
It'd be The Last of Us 2, but the Grogu dies instead of...
Okay, guys. I don't think we should be advocating for the death of a baby, but...
It's a fictional baby, okay? And he'll die and be reborn as a teenager. He'll speed shit up.
He's an avatar of capitalism.
No one ever dies in Star Wars, which leads us to our next thing. The hunt for Ben Solo axed. Without ever asking about the budget or other details, Steven Soderbergh says it's insane, and we were all frustrated as he spent pretty much 2.5 years of his life on nothing.
Very sad.
Yeah.
I do hope Amaro, changes his mind, because, like, Kathleen did make it sound like if some leadership changes, which will in a couple weeks with Amaro, I hope he reconsiders, but he seems more like the Iger type than the creative type, so...
I don't understand this whole thing, though.
Yeah.
I will say with Steven Soderbergh, it's a little embarrassing. He should know better than to write a script about Ben Solo coming back. It relies on assuming that they would do that. They messed up so bad with Rise of Skywalker. I doubt any leadership that is competent would want a Hunt for Ben Solo movie. I would love to see Steven Soderbergh direct and write a Star Wars movie, but I do not understand why he chose this as his project. And I guess we'll see in a few weeks or months, but my verdict is I am highly doubtful that this is ever going to see the light of day. And I feel bad for Soderbergh, but I feel like he kind of should have known better.
Yeah. I would look forward to this project immensely. It seemed like he did so much studying and research.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what a shame.
Well, no, I agree. But also, I don't understand why they can't, do some rewrites and keep the story and some of the stuff and just make it about a new character.
No, I mean, it's also Adam Driver project, so that's probably why it is about Ben Solo, because, like, Adam Driver still wants to explore the character. And, I feel like, considering Soderbergh was on board with the project, I'd assume it was, like, at least decent.
No, I assume so, too. I have no questions about the material. It's just more so they damaged their reputation so much with The Rise of Skywalker. I feel the same way about the Rey movie that kept being the exact same way, where I don't know how that was ever in the stages it was, but now it's looking, I don't think that will ever happen either, just to clarify.
Well, Rise of Skywalker still made like $900 million, so...
What a shame.
And the prequels weren't good either, and they still made more movies, and they made like billions of dollars, so, there is precedence of continuing on with a saga that has a bunch of bombs. But, yeah, this is very disappointing news. Fuck Iger, but I don't think Del Moro is going to be much better.
Speaking of other things that now, unfortunately, will never happen, get ready to rage. Makes it bad. The first was just a vague reporting by several outlets that it is in limbo this 28 years later, third chapter, which makes sense because even though the second film was so good, the first film, y'all loved it. A lot of people loved it. I can admit that. But a lot of people like me were very disappointed. And if you look up Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd, the reviews are positive, but they are mixed for a film that should have brought back 28 years later, a long time later. I don't know if it's actually 20. It wasn't actually 28 years, but it's like a long time after. But many years later.
Yeah.
And the second one, I loved, and it was a lot better, but I think they should give a third chapter a chance if it is Nia DaCosta or someone completely different because of the second film, but you're not going to see box office results right away after that first film. But
Dump Yuri didn't help.
Yeah, and I really feel like this is true because the 28 years later account on Twitter or X had a new promotional thing for the Bone Temple. Cancel your plans, grab your snacks, gather at the Bone Temple. Witness the ending you've been waiting 28 years for.
What a shame.
The ending.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
They really botched the release strategy.
I don't think it was the release strategy. I think it was the first film bleeding into the second. They didn't get hype enough for people to turn around and be like, and give it a second chance who were disappointed like me.
Well, I'm sure there's a bit of that, but I think it's mostly Dump Yuri, honestly.
Yeah.
But Send Help did pretty good, right?
But that was like almost February though, so
Yeah.
1 week off.
And that was Sam Raimi's highly anticipated comeback after more than 10 years or something.
I will say with the January strategy, I will admit it doesn't give people faith if they didn't like the first one like me to give it a second chance because they think it's being dumped. So I agree with that. But I do think if the first one was better received by a lot more people, I think this would have done at least significantly better, even if it didn't perform amazing numbers to get us towards a third film. And now I'm really sad if it doesn't because Nia DaCosta knocked it out of the park. It is at least a complete enough film that it's outrageous to say this is the ending for 28 years later that was intended, but it at least is a finished movie. So
yeah,
it's so sad.
No more Jim.
What a shame.
And we have one last news thing. Matthew, do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so after Paramount has been repeatedly told no to the Warner Brothers merger, they finally were allowed to open up a deal by the Department of Justice, right?
Yeah.
And now they are offering their one final deal to Warner Brothers to buy them out for $108 billion. And yeah, this is a better deal in theory compared to the Netflix deal because it's 108 over, I think it's like 90 billion for Netflix. But yeah, there's a lot of negatives that comes with that,
including where the hell are they getting this money from?
Yeah.
Let's just say foreign powers.
Yeah.
The Saudis.
And his daddy's fund.
Exactly.
Sponsor of Oracle Red Bull Racing.
Hopefully Netflix takes back this because I don't like what Paramount has been doing over there in the last few months.
Yeah.
Their recent output has been very disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it sends a great message. Maybe it will send the opposite message when this is done. But right now, if this goes to, it's sending the message if you're a prepubescent bully, whining bitch-ass bully, that you can get anything you want from daddy's money and Middle Eastern powers.
And a related piece of news was that James Cameron apparently spoke out in favor of the Paramount deal or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. I really support you feeling so powerful about movie theaters to send a letter in. But I'm like, dude, in this situation, I don't think you fucking know what you're talking about. Don't send something uninformed. It's embarrassing for him. And I love James Cameron. And I still will think that he did not do it in a malicious intent. I think he did it for the love of the theaters. I have no doubt about his intent. But I think he's just assuming what Netflix is. And he's not looking at what Paramount is. And that is really concerning.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo even calls him out. Like, why are you calling out Netflix? Well, you're saying nothing about Paramount and what they've been doing. And, Ted Sarandos is like even going forward more and more with like siding with theaters, saying that they're going to commit to a 45-day window, and then they're going to commit to a premium video on demand window, which is way more than what they're doing right now with anything that they're putting out. I get that James Cameron doesn't trust him, but he has reason to mistrust him. But I'm sorry, Paramount is not the right side of history here,
Yeah, exactly. They are not the big savior.
I don't know who the Ellisons are as people outside of their politics. So I'm not going to say they're terrible people, but I just don't think it is good for any one power politically to own a bunch of news outlets. I think it's very concerning, and I think it is like you just bought Paramount. You just did. If you really had all this money and it wasn't a political thing, why don't you wait for something else, or you wait for Netflix to buy it and then you buy all that? It's a little concerning to me.
Mm-hmm.
A little
Mhm.
is an understatement, but
Yeah, the timing of the whole thing is very hard to ignore.
Yeah.
Here we are.
and I'm not going to support anyone who's dumping the new Avatar movie on not just streaming. Streaming would be one thing, HBO, Netflix. No. Paramount Plus.
Well, Disney
Yeah.
will never let that happen, so at least we have that going for tomorrow. Well, there's also been a lot of controversy around this specific Berlin Film Festival. Basically, what's been going on is that the organizers were trying to stay as apolitical as possible. Now, you don't want to bring controversy into a film festival, but this is the Berlin Film Festival we're talking about. One of the most outspoken liberal film festivals
Mhm.
that there is. Yet, Wim Wenders, who says that all films are political in nature, said he's also the head jury of the film festival this year, but he said that we have to stay out of politics, which is antithetical for everything that he stands for. And
Mhm.
because of this, over 80 Berlin Film Festival alumni signed a petition urging the organizers to say something about what's going on in Gaza, but they're not relenting. And I feel like this is a trend that's been going on with the Berlin Film Festival because the previous head organizer, Carlo Chatrian, left specifically because they were trying to push out a more vocal Berlin Film Festival in place of a less outspoken film festival. And Berlin seems to be trying to be this hub of European film, but by doing that, they're pushing out the opinions of these artists that have found refuge in this film festival as
Mhm.
a place to speak out about their politics. But instead, they're bringing an American director who is trying to make this an apolitical thing when this film festival historically hasn't been an apolitical thing.
Mhm. I think what struck a lot of people or rubbed a lot of people the wrong way was just kind of the dismissiveness of Wim Wenders' statement. It seemed very flippant or just not taking into consideration the fact that, art oftentimes is inherently political.
That's his words. It's literally his words.
Yeah. It just kind of seemed to a lot of people like cowardice, including me, not to take a stance on what for a lot of people is the defining issue of our time, when there is this long tradition of the Berlin Film Festival taking such stances in the past, like with Iraq or something like that. But moving on to news about the festival itself.
Unrelated to this controversy.
Yes. There actually were films screened at the Berlin Film Festival, surprisingly.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, first off, Michelle Yeoh was given a Golden Bear for all her career achievements, which is a really nice thing for them to do,
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Given by kind of controversial guy, Sean Baker. I still like his stuff, but he directed Michelle Yeoh's recent projects. It was like a 10-minute short of Michelle Yeoh playing like a bunch of parts. But obviously, a great honor for her to receive a Golden Bear. Non-competitive, of course, but
Mhm.
I think she'll also get a Razzie for Wicked 2. So it just shows, it's Halle Berry all over again,
We might
She
talk about
deserves
Halle
both.
Berry.
She deserves the Razzie and she
Topical.
deserves her praise. She deserves both. That's how it works. You can be both amazing and terrible in different projects. So I love Michelle Yeoh
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, next up, an actress that we've been talking about a lot lately, and not for the right reasons. At the Sea, starring Amy Adams. It seems like it's another bad Amy Adams film, and it's not her fault again.
Of course. She is the new Jessie
Surprise.
Buckley minus Hamnet. Although maybe
God.
Jessie Buckley with Hamnet is turning her luck around. So we shall see. Amy Adams, save yourself. Girl, get someone else to choose your projects.
Variety describes this movie as a recovery drama that is as immediately forgettable as its title.
I already forgot the title as we've been talking about it. It's that generic. At the Sea. Which is more generic, that or The Whale? At the Sea is more generic.
Yeah, At the Sea is more generic.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Cornell
Mandruzzo.
Yeah.
Like that.
He directed Pieces of a Woman starring Vanessa Caribbean. That was well received, but yeah, this one apparently is not it.
Poor Amy Adams. First Hillbilly Elegy, and then Night Bitch.
Playing J.D. Vance's mom.
Or what was it? The Woman in Cabin.
Oh God.
The Woman in the Window.
Yes, The Woman in the Window.
I've seen that movie. It is truly awful. And once again, it's not her fault.
Yeah. Speaking with someone with better film choices.
Yeah. Sandra Hüller, she once again is getting great reviews for a new film, Rose. 2026 might be another year for Sandra Hüller.
One of the best.
Yeah, she's got Project Hail Mary, but not just that.
And I like that it shows her in Project Hail Mary, even if it is an awards film as it ends up happening. She's not one of these actors that only chooses. She is not above a comedy film. She's also in Digger.
Yeah.
This upcoming year.
Oh, yes.
And she's not above, even though I hated Tony Erdmann, she was great in it, and it was a comedy. Like, she is not above silliness. So I really like that. She's not snobby, is my point.
Yeah, but this particular movie looks very interesting. It's called Rose. It's being described as a fascinating tale of gender politics in 17th century Germany that offers a gripping backdrop for Sandra Hüller's prodigious acting talents. And I believe she goes undercover as a man. She disguises herself, so I love her work, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does here. The last big climactic thing that happened at the festival was Turkish filmmaker Ilker Katak's film Yellow Letters shockingly won the Golden Bear, beating out films that were projected to win like Rose or others. And this movie had been getting pretty tepid reviews, but the jury, which included King Richard director Reinaldo Marcus Green and Rental Family director Hikari. So it's a great jury, and looks like they're going against the green here by selecting Yellow Letters, explicitly, as Wim Wenders said, as kind of defying the critics. But they also, basically the second place award that was also awarded to a Turkish film.
Silver Bear.
Yes, thank you, Silver Bear. It looks like an interesting movie about authoritarianism, Yellow Letters does, but I don't know if I will be champing at the bit to go see it.
While we're looking at the 2026 news, let's jump back to the 2012 Berlin Film Festival, shall we? This was also quite a controversial jury selection, as quite a rousy Berlin Film Festival selection with movies like The Royal Affair, which ended up being nominated at the Oscars for Best International Feature. But the jury, headed by Mike Leigh and Jake Gyllenhaal, decided on Caesar Must Die for The Golden Bear. And this movie was directed by two very old guys. Like, they were in their 80s when they shot this movie. But we'll get to it in a bit. But it was shocking that the Royal Affair, it didn't win the Golden Bear, because it won like 2 Silver Bear Awards for Best Actor for not Mads Mikkelsen, but the King in the Royal Affair, as well as the screenwriters for the movie. So yeah, quite an upset done as it is now. And let's get into that Golden Bear winner, shall we, with Caesar Must Die. It is a 2012 Italian docudrama movie directed by Paolo and Vittorio Taviani. They were in their 80s when they made this movie, which is quite shocking. But yeah, it stars a bunch of convicts and ex-convicts playing the parts of the notable Shakespeare play Julius Caesar as part of a prison project, but it kind of blends reality with fiction in the way that they depict this scenario, which, yeah, we'll talk about. And I guess I'll start off with my thoughts on this movie. I thought this movie was really creative in the way it told the story of Julius Caesar, and the way it did that was just, it's kind of spoiling what the movie did, but it's Julius Caesar. It's not too spoilery. So basically, like, starts off as, these prisoners just doing a rehearsal of the play Julius Caesar, but then it slowly builds and builds and builds towards trying to like mix reality with fiction by having these prisoners sort of have their own Roman Empire within the prison. And yeah, I thought that was like quite a clever way to show this play, and how the struggle between democracy and fascism was like a cycle in a way, like how these criminals are stuck in a cycle. And I really enjoyed that aspect. And if I continue talking, I'll repeat myself. So I'll end my thing here. I think overall, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I didn't love this film. There wasn't anything bad about it. We're looking at these prisoners who, by the end, I think it is real life prisoners, but I kind of wish they maybe had that at the beginning rather than at the end. I don't know if the choice fully worked. I did find it fascinating. I haven't seen it, but there's this film we almost saw early, and now I still haven't seen it years later, called Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo from Euphoria. But I was like, wait, is this not the same exact premise? It's a little weird. So I don't know. I need to check that movie out. As for this movie, I just thought it was very straightforward. It was cool to see these people, these prisoners, be human and be passionate about their art. And they tried to connect it a little bit to their lives. But I've seen so many, we'll get into it in the full discussion, but I've seen so many better films about plays and how they were influenced by and influenced, the people's lives who made them. So it wasn't as unique to me. But to be fair, this was 2012, so maybe this reinvigorated this trend. And if so, I have to respect it. I was never bored. It did kind of fly by for a 76-minute movie. That's short already, but it did feel like a 35-minute short. It did not feel as long as it was. But again, I just wish they leaned into the connections more, because it did feel kind of straightforward. And, like you said, Matthew, it's not a spoiler to say the story, because it's a story that, even if we don't know at the top of our heads, we've heard before.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit not boring, but not fully captivating to me. This film, I wanted to love it more. Cinematography was great. All the people in it, great, because they were playing themselves and you could see. But I just wanted a little more. A lot more, actually. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I feel the same way I do a little bit about The Grey.
Well, Dean hasn't seen this movie, actually, so I think I'll just respond to what Jack said first. I understand your gripe about how this film doesn't like go into depth, but I feel like the film is trying to let the prisoners speak through their performance and so, about their experiences. So if they tried to add more to it, it would feel like less authentic to how the prisoners were actually acting, because these are real prisoners.
I would agree, but then I would have liked a more documentary approach, I
Mhm.
think, is my problem. Either
Mm.
go all in or go back, because I would have appreciated this a lot more if I knew up front that these were real people and, to really learn more about, like, why did they, get into this theater in their prison? How did this thing start? Why, for each of them, did they decide to audition for this show? I wanted a little more about that, and it doesn't ignore that per se. I do appreciate that it has no sense of falsitivity. It feels very
Mhm.
authentic, and I do appreciate they didn't force something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
But again, I've just seen so many better films. I've seen Hamnet. Oh, amazing. We mentioned it
Mhm.
earlier this episode. Check out Hamnet, okay? Euphoria. I keep mentioning it, but it keeps coming up. Season 2, episodes 7 and 8 were about, it's a fictionalized thing based on true stories compiled. So I get they have a little more wiggle room, but they
Yeah.
explored so deeply how the play was inspired by and connected to the character, and it was a magical
Mhm.
experience. Even Hades Town, which is going to be turned into a movie, which I'm excited about, but is currently still a Broadway play. And I saw that in New York City. It was an amazing experience. If you have a chance, by the way, to see it, go see it. But again, it was an example of, it had a meta quality to it. I don't want to spoil it. But again,
Mhm.
it plays into the thing of exploring how stories and play specifically, but how stories can impact us, right?
Mhm.
And how we impact the telling of these stories. So I just wish it really went for it if it wasn't going to do a documentary style upfront.
Mm. I get wanting more, but I do understand why this movie went into this direction. Because, like, in those situations, like, those are, well, in Hades Town, you're talking about, like, the play itself, so you're not talking about, like, the actual people involved.
No, I am. You have to see it to understand. I get why what I'm saying would be confusing.
Hmm.
If you
Okay.
saw it, you would know what I'm talking about.
But then, like, Euphoria and Hamnet especially, like, that's just fictional retelling of, like, a story that happened.
Well, you're right. They have advantages, but maybe
Yeah.
in this format, I would have liked maybe more interviews,
Mm. Oh, I see.
more,
Hmm.
maybe them talking more outside of the rehearsals, about their lives or
Mhm.
showcasing the
Mm.
things with the cells more. The one line I loved near the end, we're going into spoilers, by the way,
Yeah.
of since I've discovered art, my cell has become a prison. Great line. I was
Mhm.
looking for more of
Hmm.
that and stuff like that throughout the movie. I thought it was well done, but it was just after a certain point watching them rehearse for this play that we know the story to.
Yeah.
I wish it had a little more to say, but I agree with you. I respect the choice they made. And I do not dislike the movie, to clarify. I don't think it's bad.
I think if they tried to go more into that interview style, like you'll like attach yourself more directly to their story rather than like what they're actually speaking. And I think
Yeah.
the way that the movie does it is just like show their raw performance. These are not professional actors. These are prisoners who discovered a love of acting from participating in this. And just by giving like simple background details of what they did, ranged from mildly bad to like horrid. But by not listening to their stories and their like reason why they're doing this, like you're getting like a sense of they're speaking through their art rather than through themselves, which I think is the strength of this
But
movie.
there was a line in one scene where they were talking about a small detail, how in the play one of them was like, "Why are these guys just talking about the sunrise or sunset when this horrific stuff is going on?" And a guy responded, "Well, I can relate to this more
Hmm.
because of it." And I would think learning more about these people and why they're doing this play, I think would add to the story
Hmm.
of the play they're doing, because they are taking, like actors do, they are taking their past backgrounds and they're removing
Yeah.
themselves, but they're letting it influence to be human. to show their human experience. And that's what I thought this movie kind of was about. It was about art as an expression of
Yeah.
oneself, and what I was saying with these fictional stories, which again, you're right, that they have more availability to mix things up. You're right. But I do think this film could have gotten closer to that direction without sacrificing the authenticity, is my thing. And
Yeah.
I think it would have added to
Hmm.
their play.
I get where you're coming from, and I think this is just a situation where maybe more might have been better, maybe less would have been fine. And yeah, I think it's just a situation where we agreed to disagree, and yeah, I don't think there's anything beyond that.
So I am curious, when you say their crimes range from the mundane to the horrid.
Well, they didn't talk about it, but they showed each one of them, and
Mhm.
it had text that said when they got in prison and what they were in prison for, and their
Huh.
sentence.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I see. And did any of them have lifetime sentences?
half of them probably.
Okay. Did the actors who had lifetime sentences seem to play different roles in the drama of the play than those who didn't?
I don't think there was. It was just like choosing these guys based on vibes, which is what casting directors do. Because like this is an actual production that they did, and
Yeah.
then they replicated it in their rehearsals.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard to see like
Interesting.
which part is staged and which part is not. Like obviously some parts are more staged than others, but it's like not a pure documentary because like it kind of mixes the boundary between reality and fiction.
I guess I didn't fully even realize when watching it, though. I thought they were just rehearsing in the prison courtyard. They were. I see what you're saying. They were blending reality and fiction, but it wasn't. They never leave the prison. They were always showcased in the prison.
Obviously they can't.
Yeah, but it wasn't showing them imagining them
Yeah.
someplace else. It was showing them in the prison.
Yeah.
Hmm. The blending you're talking about kind of reminds me of the voice of Hind Rajab, one of last year's best movies, where they never actually mentioned that in the movie they're incorporating the actual phone calls delivered by Hind Rajab to the 911 service, but you come to learn over the course of the movie that it is kind of a blending of fact and fiction, and doing that is pretty heartbreaking and definitely packs a bigger punch than it otherwise would have, because it is like the real phone call, and so it's pretty crazy.
Mhm. I think beyond what we're talking about, like this is basically just the story of Julius Caesar, so there's not too much to add. I can see why this is a unique approach to like documentary filmmaking, and instead of like having interviews, it was showing their performance. But beyond that,
Hmm.
yeah, there's not much to add.
It's not a bad movie, but again, there's so much more like this, but better, that I'd recommend. Sing Sing, I haven't even seen, so maybe mark my words, but
Mhm.
I want to watch it, and based on what I've seen, that looks more in depth. Hades Town, Broadway, amazing.
Mm.
The last 2 episodes of season 2 of Euphoria, Hamnet. There's probably documentaries I don't even know of.
I feel like we shouldn't compare documentaries to narrative fiction, especially Hamnet.
No, but they were inspired by true stories, all of these things. Sing Sing, I think, it was the real prisoners also, besides Coleman Domingo. Euphoria, that I see what you're saying, it's a little more fiction. But
Yeah.
each character was inspired by true stories, and the way there wasn't a real play. So I get what you mean by that. But it's amazing. So check it out.
Yeah.
But especially Hades Town and the Sing Sing, I'm like, those I already can tell are more worth for me watching.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't dissuade anyone from watching this either if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It's not a long watch, 76 minutes.
I think it's worth watching just to like preserve the story of these prisoners and how their specific performances. I feel like I should add on to that a bit because like obviously we don't have a limited time, but like is it also unworthy to not go to actual prisons and not watch those plays at all? Because like yeah, obviously like there's content that is better out there, like obviously narratively like there's a lot of better fiction out there, but like this is like their specific experience that you won't be able to see anywhere else. And do you specifically choose to go to like a student play because of the performances? Not necessarily. Like they're not going to be good. These guys were like great, but
They were great.
I am just saying that you should watch other things besides this because they're better is like not
No,
the right
I mean for
perspective to
people who
take.
did not have this on their radar, because those are unique stories. And the Sing Sing
Yeah.
one, I haven't seen it, but they are real prisoners besides Coleman Domingo.
Mhm.
They were real prisoners.
Yeah.
So that is their story also. It was based on a true story. That was very, very similar to this. So I'm like, did it kind of rip this off? But it was a true story. So
Yeah, but like I'm just trying to say that these people deserve to have their stories told, and like if you want to check it out, if you're not interested, that's okay too.
That's fair. Yeah.
anyways, moving on to the new film. We're going to the other side of
Yeah.
criminals. Criminals still on Crime 101.
I'm 101.
This movie was directed by Bart Layden, who also directed a docudrama in 2012. It's more direct on the
Yeah.
separation between docu and drama in that one, but yeah, in this movie, he writes a screenplay based on Don Winslow's novel of the same name, Crime 101, and directs it in, a fashion. But yeah, this movie stars Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, and Halle Berry. And yeah, I guess we'll go on to our opinions on this film, shall we? All right, Jack, do you want to start us off?
Yes, I will. Okay, Crime 101. Just like the week before last week when we were doing Sundance. This is a weird film to rate for me, okay? First off, can we just say, even in a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, I could not tell you at gunpoint to save my life any of these characters' names. So can we just agree to call them by their actors?
Yes, absolutely. Well, it didn't help that Chris Hemsworth's character had multiple names, but yeah, regardless.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about okay. Let's set the stage because this is a weird thing. So the trailers for this have been utterly forgettable. And the only reason I was like, we should do this for the podcast is the cast and some early reviews being like, it's a good dad movie. So I was like, let's give it a chance. You never know. And the opening to this movie starts with a meditation audio and stunning nighttime visuals of LA. God damn, some of the cinematography of LA at night in this movie. Woo! Fantastic. And initially, I was shocked. I was like, this is good compared to the utterly bland and forgettable trailers. The opening heist, we'll get into it. Woo! What a start to a movie. Okay? Not the most original thing you've ever seen, but I was like, wow, we're cooking. But then this movie is so overlong that a whole hour should have been completely cut out. Okay? Especially with a romance plot involving Monica Barbero. We'll talk about it, but to me it was atrociously pointless. And I love her from A Complete Unknown. Shout out. Check it out. I don't want to say bad things about something with her in it. And she wasn't terrible herself, but her role just went nowhere. And it's a real shame because this plot line and several others, this film is great to me when it was focused on the actual crime, the crime 101, the heists, how these characters are pulled into crime. I was like, this is great. The main actors all gave their all, even Chris Hemsworth, which, listen, it's a little weird. I could see both of you thinking he was bad because his character choice was weird. He plays an introvert, okay, which you would never think for him, but it kind of worked for me for the most part. The final act, I really enjoyed when we got to the final heist, and it was mostly fantastic-ish. So it at least ended on a high note for me, but it was a bit underwhelming because of how overlong the buildup was and how unnecessary so much of it was. If this movie was cut down from its 2 hours and 20-minute length to around 1 hour and 10 minutes, maybe 120, right? Or, we could go up to 2 hours if we added more heist sequences and more chases, right? I'd be praising this movie. I would say it's not original, but it's a great throwback crime movie. But it's so overlong and pointless in about half the movie that I went all the way down to a 6, maybe a 6.5, maybe out of 10 for me. Still, I will say the director Bart Layden, for me now, is a new promising directorial talent besides his pacing issues. This isn't his first film, as we mentioned, but it is only his third, and his last was 8 years ago in 2018. I feel old that's 8 years ago. Jesus Christ. I will keep my eye out for his next film. I'd say it's worth giving it a try on streaming if you have nothing to watch. You've already seen Heat and you love this genre, as the highs were high for me. I was shocked how high the highs were, but the lows were low. So, yeah, 6, maybe 6.5, probably a 6. What do y'all think?
You couldn't have put it better, at least for me. There's a lot to love here. And, it's like a neat little heist movie that, of course, is very stylish. I have not watched any Michael Mann.
Wait, you still haven't seen Heat?
No?
This is pretty much a ripoff of it, but you should still watch it. It might lose a little of its impact now, but still check it out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I am sure that it is impossible for us to get through this episode without mentioning him more, so I figured I'd just get it over with. Mention Michael Mann.
I will say, and we'll get into it, the director has said it is kind of influenced heavily by Heat. So it's not like he just is claiming that it isn't, but we'll get into it. Where's the line between influence and ripoff?
Which I guess also is a question with Caesar Must Die and Sing Sing.
I haven't seen Sing Sing, to be fair, though. This, I've seen both.
All that is to say, yeah, the visuals, the cinematography, especially at night, with like the rivers of cars, like the headlights, was very stunning. But honestly, I don't know, I'm kind of torn on its depiction of LA as a setting. Like, it just kind of felt a little like stereotypical to me, like an outsider's view of it, which I guess maybe was the point. I again have not watched any Michael Mann, but I assume it is very different in that regard. But as Jack was saying, it is overstuffed and overlong and like sprawling, just like LA, I guess. The romance subplot Jack pointed to, I guess, is a good example of maybe something that worked well on paper, but I was like twiddling my thumbs the whole time, just waiting for it to get over with.
I was pulling out my hair practically.
And I love the music. The score, it was, very propulsive and very, I guess not techno, but electronic in a way that suited the movie very well. And another director whose movies I saw people comparing this movie to is William Friedkin.
French Connection?
Yeah, exactly, which I still have not seen. But the car chases in this movie are pretty good. I don't know if they're the best I've ever seen.
I thought when the movie was about Crime 101, it was great.
Yeah, this movie kind of made me want to see Friedkin's 2012 movie, which does exist, called Killer Joe, which hopefully we talk about at some point this year. Another crime movie. All that is to say, I guess the main problem with this movie is that I just kept comparing it to other movies or other directors, which the movie itself does at some points. And that kind of detracted from my enjoyment of it. So, as this long ramble probably suggests, I'm pretty torn on it. I don't know if I'd watch it again. So it's maybe 7 out of 10.
What? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
I'll stick with the 7
How
for
is your
now.
rating higher than mine, but it sounds worse?
See, I'm torn.
Well, I think we'll discuss this a bit later, but I just want to read a summary of this of a movie. A Los Angeles professional thief rob millions A detective and his team investigate the robbery.
That could be like Heat and 5 other different movies.
The criminal plans one final bank robbery. They discuss their dedication to their jobs.
They
This
discuss
is
dedication.
this is a shortened version of the Wikipedia summary of Heat.
Well, yeah, no shit.
And this also completely applies to this movie. And throughout this movie, I'm just thinking, man, I wish I was watching Heat, because this movie has no
agree.
voice of his
Yeah.
own. It is just a worse version of Heat. Obviously, like, the story was not his. It's adapted from a novel, which I haven't read, so I don't know. But the general premise of this movie of having this like romance plot stuck in the middle of the criminal trying to break his shell while fighting one final heist was just literally just Heat. But the thing with Heat is that like Los Angeles actually feels like a character, which is a bit weird because like this movie is titled after.
The Highway 101.
Yeah.
But this movie doesn't really feel like an LA movie. It just feels like a city.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just
I
feels like
agree.
a city. It doesn't feel specifically LA. And could
Could be
be
San
San
Francisco,
Francisco, could be
be,
Chicago,
That's a
honestly.
little hard. I thought it felt like LA. I could have been better, but there were some great shots of
Miami.
I guess
all
the beach
districts.
is specifically LA, but like besides that, like I didn't really get the vibe of LA. And he builds up to this excellent heist at the end, but I don't want to get too much into it, but the final heist in this movie was, not that. Yeah, it just removed like all the good side characters from Heat, and it just focused on these two guys, which would have been fine, but then Halle Berry's character was inserted there. And I kind of get why is trying to tell a story about how it had like relevant themes that Halle Berry's character was there for. But the thing is, like, Halle Berry's story is like also the most like generic office loyalty type of movie that just doesn't really suit the movie at all. And like I could
Yeah.
care less about Halle Berry's character at like maybe the third act. And yeah, it just felt like a shoehorn. Like obviously I don't entirely blame Layden. Obviously like he could have cut that plot out, but like it's probably in Winslow's book, so that's why he put it there, and Halle Berry probably helped with funding the movie.
Mm.
So obviously he couldn't say no to the entire plot. But yeah, overall, visually it's had great moments. I think there's like a certain stillness to some of the shots that were, capture the beauty of the city, not in the way that Heat did. Heat was a much better looking movie. I just keep on comparing this movie to Heat. I love
It's
Heat. I love
impossible
Heat.
not
Heat
to.
is a fantastic movie, but yeah. One final point about Heat: two legendary actors, Robert De Niro and Vincent Hanna himself, who says she's got a great ass. Al Pacino. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth is definitely no Robert De Niro, and Mark Ruffalo, had his moments, but he's also no Al Pacino. So overall, yeah, my thoughts is this is just a lesser version of Heat, and you should watch Heat instead. And this is like average movie that makes you feel that you should watch Heat. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
We're all unified for once.
I somehow ended up with the highest score.
I will say we have different scales, and that's incredibly apparent here because there's no way you actually liked it the most. You didn't sound that way, so
Yeah.
We have a lot of things to talk about, at least I do, with this movie. So I have kind of put a structured order to this where we have more than enough to talk about in each thing. So it won't be too limited, but just to make sure we cover everything, because this movie is vast, right? Okay, I just wanted to start off with the opening sequence / heist. of the movie, like approximately the first 15, 20 minutes. I didn't check how long it was. It felt like it was that long. What did y'all think of it?
I think it was the strongest moment of the film, honestly. Like, it kind of did distinguish itself from Heat because it was like such a still sequence, and like it felt, thoroughly planned out. Like Heat has like a pretty frenetic opening. Like obviously it's planned, but like it's pretty chaotic. And this movie, I think, plays into Layden's strengths as a director in that he captures like the still methodicalness in the world, in the people that he captures. He just captures competent people doing their job competently, like really well. And this was that up until like a certain point. Obviously, like things go south, but that's part of the plot of the movie. But like it's just satisfying seeing this guy just do everything that he has to. And I wish the movie was more like that.
Yeah. I just want to say a disclaimer real quick because I can see where this is going. We are entering spoilers for Crime 101, but clearly we're not going to completely, but this will be semi-spoilers for Heat because it keeps getting brought up. And you should go into that movie blind because it's great and it's better than this. So even if you've seen Crime 101 or not, you should watch Heat and then get back to us, okay? To fully enjoy Heat. Please don't let us spoil it for you. And I'm sorry, Dean, because I guess we keep talking about Heat. It's just the parallels are too 1-to-1 to not bring up in a lot of things. So it won't ruin Heat, but because it's that good. But watch Heat before you continue. Don't let us spoil Heat for you.
Sounds good. It must be seen. I missed my chance at the River Oaks Theater when I think we were doing a re-release.
What? Oh my
Yes.
god.
And it's like that or Lawrence of Arabia, so it's
Okay,
like
maybe you
my
made the right
steak is
choice,
too
Oh shit,
too
that's what it
juicy and my
was.
lobster is too buttery situation.
Why couldn't you have seen both?
Well, Lawrence of Arabia is a 4-hour movie, so
Oh my god.
that would be like a 7-hour.
No
I-
regrets.
That'd
I
be
get why.
terrible.
Yeah, I'd get
No, I
why
get
you
it, I
wouldn't
get
watch
it.
both.
But shame on them for doing that. Why
No
did they do
regrets.
that?
Yeah.
Like, are you
What a
serious?
shame.
And also, why didn't they have multiple showtimes the same day of Heat? Why did they have one?
They only have 3
I don't care. Use
screens
the
at the
same
River
screen.
Oaks.
Book it for
Isn't
Heat. It's
very
that good. If
crazy.
you're gonna re-release it, play it the whole day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. One of these days.
Anyways, back on
this will
topic.
be seen.
Well,
did
it
you
kind of
guys?
is on topic because of this movie, but you know.
Well, hey, what did you guys think about the opening sequence?
I really liked it. I thought, again, I'm repeating myself,
Yeah.
but when this movie was focused on the crime, it wasn't as good as Heat, and it was a little bit of a heavily inspired by, but it was, to me, good enough to be its own thing, you know, as if it was an all killer, no filler package throughout, which I thought the opening sequence was. It was a little Dark Knight-esque, not as good. Again, I guess I am thinking of better movies constantly. The Dark Knight. You should also watch that before watching. You should watch Heat and The Dark Knight before watching this movie. But we won't go too far into The Dark Knight, so you don't have to worry about spoilers for that.
Well, the Dark Knight is partially inspired by Heat as well, but it does a
I
much
know,
better
but it
job.
still does it so much better. It's so good. There's
Yeah.
two movies. I'd rank The Dark Knight honestly above Heat slightly, but they're both great. And then Heat is really high at a 9, and then still. But they're both legendary movies. They're so good. Okay? And this isn't. But I'm so pissed because this opening sequence and some other small things show me it could, maybe not be as mind-blowing as The Dark Knight or Heat, but it could have been a really nice, thrilling crime drama. And yeah, this sequence showed it for me, and I really enjoyed it. And I liked having his main character be this figure that was morally ambiguous, which Heat also does, but really took it to a next level in this sequence where he was not killing anyone. And I really liked the opening. And I liked also when they kept cutting to Halle Berry and Mark Ruffalo, like, getting up and her putting on makeup and her driving by them on the 101 freeway,
Yeah. It it had a great sense of momentum. I saw a review that was like calling this movie kind of the answer to Crash 2005, where it's also a bunch of people running into each other on the streets of Los Angeles. But obviously, I haven't seen it, but its reputation is not very good. So I'm sure this movie has more to enjoy within it. But I think what you were talking about in your initial thoughts, Jack, about, he's like an introvert, very awkward. I don't know if that worked as well for me as it did for you. I don't know if I ever really got to know him. He was more of a block of wood.
Script-wise, I agree. I wouldn't say it was like an award-level performance. I just thought it was good. But his script didn't do him the full service by the end. Even though we spent, moving on, unless y'all have something else to say, to the Chris Hemsworth, Monica Barbaro romance plotline, which single-handedly has to be one of the worst side plots I have seen in a movie that I can even remember, because to me it added absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Again, it just felt like a worse version of Heat, because like Neil also has a romance that builds his character.
Not that we can't mention it, but there's a whole section of Heat that I want to get into later, and I'm saving that.
Okay.
So be prepared that there is another chance to talk about Heat. Okay, there is more than a chance.
Yeah, this is just another worse version of Heat.
Boy.
But this one was actually kind of bad versus Heat.
Kind of?
It was bad. Okay.
It was terrible. It was okay. Listen, we'll get into Wuthering Heights next week, and people have things to say, and they might be fair. This was 1,000 times worse, this romance plotline, to me, than anything. We'll get into it next week, but goddamn, it was that bad to me. This plotline. She still was a complete unknown after spending so much time with her.
She's a stranger. Honestly, at least it was not as bad as the unnecessary romance plotline from Chronicle.
Well, but that didn't take up as much screen time, so that wasn't really.
Yeah, this is like 30 minutes at least.
More, 40, I think. I timed some of it.
Really?
It was like so long.
Oh God. There's a great movie in here, but see, they need the opposite of extended cuts, where, what would you call it, like a limited cut.
Theatrical cut.
We need the trimmed down cut. These directors need to bring their fucking run times down. And I don't mean in terms of it can't be a number, but I mean, make sure if you're especially if you're gonna be 2 hours and 20 minutes long, okay? Again, not a numbers thing. Heat was longer, but make sure that you can have some filler. You need some slow moments. I get it, to bounce back. Make sure, besides the minimum necessary slowness to like calm down, that you have as little filler as possible, because otherwise you get crime 101.
Yeah.
And also, we'll get into next Mark Ruffalo and then Halle Berry's plot lines, but my opinion is, if you had to have a romance plotline, which you shouldn't have, but if you had to, the plotline to me should have been more between Mark Ruffalo and Halle Berry than Chris Hemsworth and Monica Barbaro. Do y'all agree or no?
Honestly, like, I think we're getting into Halle Berry, but Halle Berry's plot was not the best. Honestly, I thought this plot was worse than the Monica Barbaro stuff, because at least like that was generic. Monica Barbaro is like whatever romance, but this was like, why this is like crime movie. You have to have this insurance broker facing
I liked
a glass ceiling. I like Halle Berry, and like
it was all right.
This feels like it doesn't slot really well into the movie, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
It felt way more well slotted than the Monica Barbero thing for me, because it is more unique, and it's not just Heat 2, which is another thing coming out.
The thing is, Heat doesn't have this, and it doesn't have this for a reason, because it kind of like kills the pacing of this movie.
Yeah, I agree with
It
Matthew.
killed the pacing with the Monica Barbero, but so I'm not applauding the execution, but I like the overall idea of the story if it was way more fast. I think the fix for me is, again, when I say focus more on their romance, I mean shorten the build up, okay? You could have 1 or 2 scenes just showing where she's at and her making the bold step to enter this crime world, and it would be justifiable and understandable enough. And then have her more involved in these events while building on a Mark Ruffalo Halle Berry romance at that part. Okay, I do agree her plot line was way too long to enter the crime thing, but I just liked her perspective once she finally was there, you know. But then she was sidelined by Barry Keoghan, so.
Oh god.
Oh, that was terrible. So I do agree with you. They didn't know what to do with her because they just sidelined her into having, I'm in danger.
She belongs in a different movie. I think it was kind of a problem that a lot of the characters were kind of like playing types of people rather than being themselves. Barry Keoghan is like a shithead with his blondness. I feel like we've seen this character from Mark Ruffalo before. Where
this is him in Zodiac, basically. I was thinking of Zodiac too, another better detective crime movie.
We've mentioned so many movies.
Getting into Mark Ruffalo's plotline, I did like him in the movie. I thought, again, the script could have been better for him, but as a performance, even if it is derivative, I thought he did a good job, and he fits in this type of movie. Especially when we got to the second half where he went off the rails. Again, I wish the buildup wasn't as long and it was quick so we could get into the juice of this story, because there was juice, and then the movie ends. But I liked where his plotline was going with him hunting him down himself, and the whole scene of them in the car up to the hotel I thought was really good. I thought that was entering great territory for me.
Yeah.
But we didn't need the whole divorce plot line. That he was divorcing. Because again, it almost set up the Halle Berry romance plot that went nowhere. So I'm like, either go full in or don't.
Is he Noah Baumbach? Because he divorced Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Poor Jennifer Jason Leigh. She was so underused.
Bizarre.
What a waste.
Yeah. What was Jennifer Jason Leigh doing that movie for?
Oh my god. She got paid, baby.
Yeah. $90 million budget. She got some of that Amazon money.
Thing feels like a money laundering thing.
This movie is a crime 101.
It is.
Oh god. We gotta do an investigation.
$10 for me, and it robbed 2 hours and 20 minutes of my life from me.
Barry Keoghan was interesting, though, I guess. He was playing Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, he was playing Barry Keoghan.
He keeps becoming more Barry Keoghan in each movie he's in.
Yeah. I feel like Eternals is like the only time he doesn't play Barry Keoghan.
I know. I overhated that movie. Not claiming it's a masterpiece,
it's not great,
but well, it looks stunning, and he was good in it. He wasn't just playing Barry Keoghan.
That one scene that got cut from the Batman.
And now the most Barry Keoghan of all the Barry Keogans, Crime 101. I did like the scene when he was entering the...
Oh, don't forget Banshees.
Yeah, you love Banshees. Later this year, baby. We got the next film by Martin McDonagh. But no, I love the scene where he was breaking into the jewelry store and he kept fucking up. I wanted more of that. That was hysterical and intense to me.
Yeah.
Again, like there's so many moments where I see so much potential, and it makes it more frustrating to me that this film did not capitalize more on it.
Also, like, adding on to that, like,
Mhm.
one scene, like, I think it contrasts well with, like, Chris Hemsworth's scenes because, like, Chris Hemsworth is, like, very, very competent, and he doesn't, attack people. But then, like, Barry Keoghan's character, he does not have a plan. He's chaotic. He is just out there, and the contrast between them of Chris Hemsworth playing this saint of a criminal while Barry Keoghan's like the definition of a crazy criminal.
He's
You
the
know, like
Joker, but
yeah,
he's the Joker from The Dark Knight, but dumb.
yeah.
It's what it is. He's the dumb version. The Joker in The Dark Knight was a mastermind. So it fits that here he's playing basically the Joker, but dumb AF. And now Batman 2. I don't even know how to feel about that. He's going to really play the Joker, but dumb AF.
It's like the Joker and Ra's al Ghul. That's what it's.
Oh my god. Liam Neeson was so good as Ra's al Ghul. And Batman Begins, underrated. Dark Knight's better, but both are great.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Legend
it's
can
Roz in Batman Begins for some reason, even though it's
Oh.
Raish.
No, I thought it was Raw.
No, it's Roz in the movie, but it's supposed to be Raish.
No, I've heard. Well, then they mispronounced it in the Arrow shows too, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Batman the Animated Series specifically goes into the pronunciation being it's Raish, not Roz.
Well, everywhere else I've heard it, not just Batman, has been Raws, but who knows? Anyways, we're getting off track with that.
Yeah.
But we're really getting off track. But I do want to mention before we go, I forgot with the Chris Hemsworth. The one performance I thought was really terrible beyond just a script level. Who the hell was that old man? Who was
Nick
the
Nolte.
one? Oh, that was so bad. What did y'all think of him?
Oh my god. Put some respect on his name. Honestly, he's pretty good in Poker Face, which is a great show with Natasha Lyonne on Peacock. And the parts of Die My Love I saw before I fell asleep, he was pretty good in. I cannot complain.
Not to sidetrack too much.
Yeah.
I was so let down by that movie. It wasn't just me. I never actually found out, or I didn't
It was not
remember
just you.
finding out your review. You fell asleep watching that?
I did, and I never finished it. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know. It's an interesting watch, but fun fact, Nick Nolte plays, he voices an alien called Kuil in a certain
Yeah, I forgot
show
about that.
called The Mandalorian.
No, he's great as Cool.
I feel bad. He could
I
be
have
an amazing
spoken.
actor. Everyone gets a bad movie,
Oh.
you know?
I love Quail, man. Oh,
I even recognize this dude. I found the picture. It looks like him. It's just like Martin Scorsese. They made it look like him.
Yeah.
he's also great
That's
in
good.
Cape Fear
Yeah.
too. But that was when he was much younger.
He was so bad in this movie, though. It's
Yeah, he
inexcusable. It's not even an age thing, which makes it funnier. It's like, that's how bad he was. So I can't excuse him for this. Unless he has a medical condition where it's like ALS, but I don't think he does. So it's just a bad performance. We have old actors, a lot of them making incredible performances. There's no excuse. Anyways, the final act,
Yeah.
I liked in the hotel room and the whole car leading up to that. Barry Keoghan dying, Mark Ruffalo turning, the whole sequence. What did y'all think?
It was good, but like it was disappointing as the final act of the movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just as a sequence, though,
Yeah.
not as a
I
final
don't know if it was
thing.
worth all that led up to it.
It was not worth 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It felt like something that was supposed to be in the middle of a movie before the third act.
Yeah, but like in this case, it was clearly written as the final act because that's where Barry
Which is
Keoghan
ridiculous.
dies.
It's like it's the clear second to last heist, not the final.
Yeah.
Like, wow, in one hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Keoghan was such a wimp in this movie. Like, he was he was so easily beat at every turn. It was hysterical.
Orman, was that his name?
Maybe. I don't know.
Ormon?
I don't know anyone's name
That
in
was
this,
like
but
one of the only names I remembered.
I can't even. It was Ormond.
Yeah.
A classic character names: Davis, Lou, Sharon, and Ormond. Okay, let's really get into it here. What is the line between heavy inspiration and a total ripoff with Heat? Did this movie cross it?
Yeah, because it just reminds you of Heat, and you just want to watch Heat. Like, if it was a good movie on its own, or like a mediocre movie on its own, then you'll just say, "Oh, that's great," or "That's okay." But like the fact that it just makes you think, "I wish I was watching Heat," just like shows you like it just tried to be Heat, but it's not. You're not Michael Mann. You're not Michael Mann, bro. You're not Michael Mann.
Matthew's bringing the heat today. Poor
Art
guy.
Layden.
Man.
He has his own strengths, but they're not strengths by copying Michael Mann. And I think
Yeah.
I'll go into my thoughts about
Hmm.
the imposter, because the imposter has this like really clever structure of making you think one thing and then it makes you realize one thing. And like I think the twisty stuff he's like pretty good at. But this one doesn't really have any twists, so like you don't have that strength that he had from the imposter. In the imposter, like the docudrama stuff, he has this stillness and there's this one shot in the rain. That's just simply the most beautiful thing that he's shot between the two films. And like it's kind of like a character moment for the imposter himself. And there's nothing like that for Chris Hemsworth here. Like Chris Hemsworth is just like a wet towel, you know.
Oh my god, it was. I just looked it up. I forgot until just now. Did you recognize who was in this movie? The hacker.
Who?
I thought I was just
Oh my god.
imagining things and I found
Holy
out.
shit.
You gotta tell me.
Is it a certain Devin?
Wait, Devin Bostick?
Yes.
Oh
The
my
Diary
god!
of a Wimpy Kid Oppenheimer returns.
Roderick,
That's my man right there.
He's my Roderick.
As the hacker. And he
Oh
was in
my-
the studio
also
somewhere, apparently. The war.
Yeah, he was Quinn's boyfriend in like
Oh
one
my
This
scene.
dude has to have had the weirdest career of all time. Like, we went from Diary of a Wimpy Kid to
him.
Oppenheimer to War of the Worlds, year 2025.
Which was shot before Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry to
Wow.
interrupt. I remembered that. I was like,
Wow.
oh shit. I like had a realization. My brain synapses.
Yeah.
Roderick returns in Crime 101. Oh my god. I recognized him right away, but I wasn't sure if I was tripping. And then even when I looked up his IMDb page, like before I clicked on it, I was like, oh, that's not the guy. And then I clicked on it and it was. God damn. So bizarre.
Good for him. I love seeing him randomly pop up in whatever piece of entertainment you might think. Could be anything.
Anyways, final thoughts on Crime 101.
Honestly, the more I talk about it and the more good movies are name dropped in relation to it, my opinion of it gets worse. So I think I'll probably go
Yeah.
down to a 6.
I say just watch other movies that are not Crime 101. Even though, like, this is a fine movie, just, like, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
It was better than the trailers. Well,
Yeah, low bar.
yeah, the more I think about it, the less I like it. I'm not going lower because I think there was a lot I really liked, but again, I was so disappointed by the flaws and just cut it down. You don't even need to film much more. You should to make it even better, but just by cutting down over an hour of this movie, it would just be better with the same scenes. Yeah, I'm going to go 6 out of 10. We are all at the same exact
I could
rating.
care
It's the
less.
most 6 out of 10 movie ever made.
Yeah.
That's what I'm streaming.
No. No.
Wow, not you won't even go that
It's
far.
not, just watch Heat. Yeah, just watch Heat.
How about this? Be on the lookout for this dude's next film, which does not have an hour of overlong plots.
Or watch The Imposter.
Yeah.
Because that was a pretty good
Mhm.
documentary.
I've also heard good things about American Animals, which is another
Was this a
docudrama.
great dad movie? Because all the critics were saying it for some weird reason. It was almost like they were paid. I'm not saying they were paid to say good things about the movie, but it was like one quote being repeated endlessly about this movie that it was the ultimate, or not the ultimate, but it was the best dad movie.
Well, The Rip is a
Nah.
much, much better dad movie, even though it's a worse movie. You know, at the end of The Rip, you'll say, hell yeah. At the end of this, you're like, when's Heat on? Also, like, I kind of want to watch Heat now.
Me too. It made me want to rewatch Heat.
Yeah.
This was a scheme to make me want to rewatch Heat. We need to look up who owns that movie.
I think before this podcast goes on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, let's go to the box office game.
Yeah. All right. So we are actually taking a bold leap forward in time to the first week Caesar Must Die was released in the US, which happens to be February 8th through 10th,
A
2013.
whole year after it won the Golden
So.
Lion.
But unfortunately, Americans were not flocking to cinemas to go see Caesar Must Die.
No shit.
But they
Well,
were.
it was only playing in like 10 theaters, right?
No, exactly my point. No shit.
It was
3 theaters.
three
Yeah,
theaters
Oh my
this
god.
weekend.
That's like
Yeah.
that's sad. Even
Yeah, that's
I
just
think that's
sad.
too little.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, they were flocking to theaters to see this week's highest grossing movie. First weekend release grossed 34 million. It is a comedy I have not heard of, but its 2 stars are pretty famous. One for being a good straight man, and the other for being really ridiculous. And literally, I guess, kind of playing the same character in every movie they do. Universal.
Same character?
Yes, or like the same sort of larger than
Is it
life.
like a Dwayne The
Cage?
Rock movie?
It is not. That's a good guess though. She's the actress is the one who has this larger than life personality.
Julia Roberts?
In the supporting cast, that is kind of close.
Sandra Bullock?
Sure. No, but she Sandra Bullock starred with this actress in a movie. I think it's kind of a parody of Heat. I think it's called Hot Pursuit or something. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
But she starred in Spy.
Melissa McCarthy.
So Melissa McCart. Yeah. Bridesmaids? Was that? No, that was earlier. No.
No? I don't know if y'all look at the movie, so I'll tell you the title.
What?
It is Identity Thief.
No.
Is the title.
Never heard of this. No.
Was this a Paul Feig joint?
Guess some guy named Seth Gordon.
Oh,
What?
I think I've heard of him. I think we talked about Seth Gordon.
You'll never guess.
Weird.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
You'll never guess who did the screenplay though.
Noah Baumbach.
That would be very funny, but he's working on Baldur's Gate.
What?
Oh my god, Craig Mazin.
Yes.
That
He did the
man, I
screenplay for it.
fucking will always hate that man for what he did. Last of Us 2. Oh my god, man.
Yeah. Anyway, number 2 is a zombie movie.
Zombieland?
Zombie comedy. Say that again.
Zombieland?
Nope, but it is very similar in tone to that movie. It appears. It's Lionsgate. It's got Nicholas Hoult.
Wait, is it Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
It's a good guess. It is not. It is based on a novel called the same.
Nicholas Hoult.
Have we heard of this before?
I had heard of it. It's got Nicholas Hoult, Dave Franco, John Malkovich. The tagline is "He's still dead, but he's getting warmer."
The hell? I don't know.
The fuck?
What?
It's called Warm Bodies.
No,
Never
I've
heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Really? I don't know how I had heard of it.
Does it have good reviews? What is it? Like John Malkovich is
Yeah.
in this?
Yeah, it's Jonathan Levine, who I think I had heard of
Yeah.
in some way.
Okay.
Yeah, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that's a slop.
So. Yep, it's true. Third one, fortunately, is not slop. Even though it was released by Open Road Films. It is a director we talked about during this episode, during the news. I should narrow it down.
James Cameron? What?
You could say that this director, fortunately, did not waste too much of his time making this movie, even though he might have been wasting his time trying to make other movies.
Director that we talked. Oh, Soderbergh. Oh,
yes.
Is it Logan Lucky?
So you guess it is not. It is before he quote unquote retired.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he made 3 films last year, so I don't.
Yeah. I honestly don't know if y'all know it. It has Jude Law, Channing Tatum.
No.
Oh.
Well, Magic
Rooney,
Mike.
Nope. Good guess. Rooney Mara.
What?
What is it?
It's called it's called Side Effects.
Never heard of it.
Never
Whoa.
heard of it.
Is it worth checking out? Have you watched it? You're a
I have not, but it looks good.
Aficionado. Oh.
I love me some Soderbergh.
Yeah.
But number 4 is the Weinstein Company, unfortunately.
Oh god.
That's the name of the film. The Weinstein Company.
Yeah.
And the director is not much better in terms of his reputation, although he's a little better.
Well, we'll see if we agree with that. What is the
This is a movie that you guys definitely have both heard of and watched, and we will most likely watch it for the podcast because we have some diverging opinions.
Oh, is it Tarantino?
It was released in 2012, but I guess it's still making money.
Whoa.
It's in its 13th weekend.
Whoa. Okay.
Is this Les Mis?
Good guess, but no. Romantic comedy drama.
Romantic comedy. 13th weekend.
Perks of Being a Wallflower? Is that even
13th? So this would have been November or Thanksgiving?
Something like that.
Okay.
Hunger
One
Games?
of it's got.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's very close. That
what?
It's much warmer.
Oh wait,
oh
Breaking
God,
Dawn?
Divergent.
No, the cast is what makes it very warm.
Divergent.
If you think about the cast of the Hunger Games.
Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, Silver Linings Playbook. Is he? I don't know. Is he? Is he better than Weinstein? I guess he still has a job. So
low bar. This 5th movie looks pretty shitty. And it's the last one of these we'll do before skipping to Caesar Must Die. But it's got Jeremy Renner. It's I guess part of the Jeremy Renaissance.
Oh God, is this the Hansel and Gretel thing?
I was gonna say, oh my God. I didn't think we were gonna talk about this movie again.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we won't because we're not doing 2013. So
yeah, the grand finale. What? So it's in 3 theaters, but what place do you think Caesar Must Die is at?
I already saw this.
From 1
512. I don't know. What's the lowest of the low? How low does it go? The number
100 goes to 101.
Okay, 100.
Oh. Nope.
101.
It is 71.
Oh.
Yeah.
It would have fit if it was 101, Crime 101. Caesar Must Die is at 101.
It's a new movie
71.
playing.
At 3 theaters?
Yeah, but like
how bad is 100? How bad? Like how is it even like on the scale when you get that low?
Because like the per theater average is probably high. So
yeah, and there's this movie called Galapagos, which is in its 694th
What?
weekend. I think it's like one of those IMAX nature
Oh,
documentaries.
okay, that makes sense.
Fun facts. Yeah. It's also above Pitch Perfect in its 20th weekend. So there you go.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that about wraps it
here
up.
we are.
Any final thoughts on these two movies? Or in your case, one, Dean?
I just gotta say, I thought both had potential, that it showed promise, but it didn't ultimately tap into what it could have been. And I think with both of these films, that's a sad thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I go ahead. I hope to watch it one day. Caesar Must Die.
Is that your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
About Crime 101, I do not hope to watch it one day.
Well, you already
Well-
had to. Congratulations.
Well,
Yes.
my thoughts are, for the prisoners, you should watch Caesar Must Die, but if you're even thinking about Crime 101, just watch Heat.
Yeah, but if you've already seen Heat, like what if you've seen Heat in the last month?
Watch Heat again. Anyways, thanks for listening. Make sure to follow us on Spotify or whatever podcasting app you're using. Please comment, like, and share. Want to reach us? Connect on social at moviesmetpod or reach out on whenmoviesmetmovies@gmail.com. See you guys next week, where we'll be talking about 2026's Wuthering Heights, as well as 2012's Les Mis. Take care. Bye-bye.